Sensory meltdown support strategies. Okay, explanation of sensory meltdown. Okay, first of all, it's a complete loss of behavioral control. The intentions, a meltdown, it has no plan. The child does not receive what people around them are thinking. There's no chance that this is manipulation like you would see in a tantrum. Control. The child has completely lost control. They're absolutely overwhelmed and distressed, and there's nothing they can do about it. The recklessness, the child is too far gone to have any sense of what might or might not be dangerous, and people can generally get hurt. And resolution. Giving the child what you thought they wanted is not going to stop the meltdown. Okay, the meltdown can gradually calm down at its own pace, whether you give the child their way or not. It's a storm that needs to just blow off itself. Comparing a meltdown with a tantrum, these are 4 critical things to keep in mind. Okay, the intention, there is no plan. The control, the child lost its control. Recklessness, it's too far gone. It's just going to go, and it can be dangerous for people. And of course, resolutions, you think you can give them information, but sometimes it's not. The prevalence of this in education, as an assistant principal, it's important for me to know what are the chances of a kid with autism coming into my school. About 1 in 40 children have been identified with autism spectrum. Okay, prevalent in boys. 1 out of 42 boys are diagnosed with it, where 1 in 189 girls are diagnosed with it. 100 individuals are diagnosed every single day, and with us having more and more technology to help us, the quicker we are actually acknowledging them. ASD is reported to occur in all races, ethnicities, social economic groups. It doesn't matter who, where, or what you come from, there's a chance you could have it. And of course, it's 4 times more common in boys than girls. This nice chart, autism and educational levels. If just because you have autism does not mean you can't get a high school diploma, you can't go on to college. It just depends on what spectrum you're at and what supports you can get in place. So this nice bar graph provides us an idea that educational levels, it's not stopping them. We just got to make sure we give them the proper supports for it. All right, 5 strategies here. Here's the first one. Trying to head it off before it happens. We want to figure out what those triggers are. So in other words, watching for the signs of triggers. It could be the fact that as soon as you see something, ask them to leave the room, go to a break room, have supports put in there for them. Physical tension. Sometimes you see fidgeting, you see rocking, students just have to get up and move around. Some of those things you can see that it's starting to come upon them. If we can head it off by going to a safe room or removing the tension it's going to occur, we can calm the situation down before a meltdown goes full force. I'm thinking these changes of screens kind of really go with my mind that as a person having problems, it would be, wow, can we do that? But second strategy, ABC chart, the antecedent, behavior, and consequence charts. This is really neat to look at because if you actually have someone observing the child, they can make marks and help us try to figure out what are the triggers that actually set that kid to have that meltdown or to change that behavior. So a trained person or someone that actually goes through some training can actually mark down different things and seeing the different behaviors and seeing what the consequence comes from it. Which with a young child, this could be very beneficial to see on record that what was it that really triggered them off. The third support is accommodations for people that are hypersensitive. Okay, you could actually give them some dim lights. In other words, get rid of those fluorescent light bulbs, put LEDs out there. Let them use sunglasses, visors, something to block off those lights. Earplugs, headphones in noisy environments. You often see a lot of children sometimes with headphones on. It's great to block that noise as well off. And of course, avoid strongly scented products. These are important things because that could actually be something that could help alleviate a student and actually give them a little bit safer environment to be in. Taken from that, then let's go to the accommodations for hyposensitivity. Hyposensitivity, of course, using visual supports for those who have difficult processes, spoken information. Sensory stimulating toys, so stuff that can help them. You know, sometimes physically touching something could actually do it. I know watching The Good Doctor, you know, he had that nice little pen, that knife that he rubs every now and then. Opportunities for rocking, swinging. You know, if kids have to fidget, you know, let them fidget. Don't make any deal of it. That might be something that they can actually use. Weighted blankets, it's always that nice little comfort. But the key thing is knowing the individual child and knowing what is safe for them and helping them work through it. And the fifth one, as we go in there and my eyes are going crazy with that situation, avoidance or setting limits. If we can have what's happening that trigger stuff off, we can stop those things that go off. At home, of course, you could always make it less cluttered and make sure everything is in a good place, that there's no chaos. And of course, potentially just providing different lighting or wearing of sunglasses, just making it comfortable and more structured. Same with oneself's limits, not pushing past a safe level in different environments. In other words, each student or each child or each person with autism needs to know what their limits are and not always push over it. I know it's good to sometimes push people past the limits, but we also have to know what is the furthest that we can actually go. And my references for what I just actually went through, these are 5 of the different references that were helpful within this project. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for listening.